Second live for the day for me. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And drop.
You're beating me. This is only my second in my entire life.
It was actually
My first one ever.
Yeah, exactly. Julie, it was actually you who said to me, you said, oh, you should do like just go live and talk random stuff. So I did that this morning while driving.
Hey, I missed it. Must have been because I was working.
I don't work. No, I'm kidding. So, okay. So both of you committed to just be talking for 30 minutes and I could just sit here and not do anything. Is that still the game plan?
30 minutes? I thought it was 3. You added an extra 0 somehow.
You get the 3, I get the 0.
Okay. Let's start by at least introducing who are you, Cindy, for the listeners?
I am Cindy Chang, part mom, part product manager by trade. So that's kind of my split personality.
And you actually hit the reset button recently. So you are 1 week in now from hitting the reset button because you were done.
Yeah.
So if anyone want to hire this badass, let me know, except your former employee. You don't want to go there. But Julie, how did you feel about her leaving? No, I'm kidding. Who are you, Julie?
I mean, not very good, if I'm being honest. I'm doing this live so I can be in another little meeting with her again. I miss her that much. Yeah.
Julie, who are you?
Yeah. I'm Julie Stone. My current role is as Director of Human Experience. And my primary really job is to bridge the gap between customer and company, right? To elevate the voice of the customer and make sure that we're delivering on expectations and giving them a great experience.
I love it. Mm-hmm. So the two of you, co-authors of the amazing book, see above here, leadersadapt.com/book. And I had you on, Julie, so I'm going to ask you first, Cindy. And you did the podcast, Cindy, and that podcast is out now as well. Yeah, both of yours are, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest lesson from being a co-author in a book?
Biggest lesson, huh? I think how much self-reflection you are expected to go through as a part of this process. It's almost like I made new connections that I never formed before in my life. Just having to revisit history and rethink through all the things that have happened in my life and how everything connected together. Definitely unexpected experience, but super happy that I went through that. And so I think it was a really great process of being a co-author, having to write my own story and learn new things about myself through the process.
Amazing. Julie, I know your answer, but it's similar, right?
Well, it's similar to Cindy's and what you've heard before, but I'm just going to try to come up with another big lesson. I guess the biggest lesson is that there's more than one lesson. And also, maybe in hindsight, if I were to do the same thing over again, I would probably have gone with my first version because, I wrote my story and then I actually retracted some and I ended up putting more back in. So, just go with it. Go with your gut. Your story is your story. Put it out there.
You had a really good balance. Both of you have a really good. I mean, Cindy's is like very out there. Let's put it like that. Yeah. Yours is also very out there, Julie, in the final version. And I think, both of you are like crazy brave.
Yeah.
I think it's super cool.
It's interesting. I mean, you, in particular with this book, right? I mean, it's a combination of a chapter that includes your personal story, but also the messaging in there and the lessons to be learned throughout that. And that was a real finessing for me. It's one thing to do one or the other, but yeah, it was good. It was a good discipline. And also summarizing events is not an easy task. Cindy, you're the best at summarizing, really going to miss that about you.
That's because I'm always background processing during meetings and making connections. And then at the end, okay, now I understand the big picture and how everything connects together. That's why. Andreas calls me a slow cooker. So I'm a slow cooker by trade also.
That's good. I mean, Cindy and I will get out. I don't know how many meetings we've had together. So many. We'll get out and then we'll do a post-call, if you will.
Post-mortem.
And I'm giving my rundown and my thoughts, and she'll listen to like 10 minutes, then go, okay, so basically this, and it's 2 sentences.
So I will actually break this down. There are different people. There are people that are starters. There are people that further the process, and there are people that sort of sum it up, abstract it back up. So you break down, you move it forward, and abstract it back up. And yes, I called Cindy a slow cooker because it's like one of those things you turn on and it's ready the day after, but it's brilliant. It's like mwah, magnifique. Julie's cooking style is like, let's make the barbecue as freaking hot as possible and then take a piece of meat, like slab it on there for 10 seconds on each side and then poof on a plate, done. Next.
You make it sound
That's
bad.
why Julie and I complement each other so well.
We do.
It's like
We're the-
seared for
we're the
20 seconds.
extremes.
That's Julie.
Sear for 20 seconds. That's
Sear
classic.
for 20 seconds, still medium rare on the inside. Yeah, still raw.
Vesna is laughing. You guys don't see this. So we have YouTube, we have LinkedIn, we have a couple of other things like going, and you can't see everyone, but Vesna is over at Instagram and she goes, slow cooker, love that. Yeah. Vesna is also a slow cooker.
Trust the process. Okay.
Trust the process. I remember, can I share that, Cindy? When I was in Sweden and I talked to you and we were having a conversation. So you were kind of ping-ponging back and forth and you were like, okay, my story's really out there. It's really vulnerable. I'm going to show up to this party and people will actually know my story. And then I'm like, I know the feeling. And remember, I shared with you that my impostor syndrome almost bubbled up. And it was like really hard for me because, and Julie, I don't know if you know this, but when I was 19, I had a situation where I had a horrible situation basically. And I was basically depressed and caught myself literally thinking which tree I was going to wrap the car around.
Yeah.
Very sad. And I hadn't told that to my mother. And never.
Wow.
I tell her everything. And I was super nervous about doing that or even saying that. But then during the conversation, Cindy, the way I remembered, you basically got yourself in that, like, screw it. I'm just going to go for it. I think that's cool. What flipped the bit?
I guess it's like, what do I have to lose mentality. There might be, I don't know if there's repercussions that are further down the road, but I wanted to really trust this process, trusting the process as a slow cooker, trust this process and give it my all and just be raw and vulnerable, because if somebody doesn't like it, then they're probably not meant to be my friend or within my circle of networks. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like I wanted to be authentic to myself so that I am staying true to myself, but also making sure that I'm attracting the right relationships into my life. So that's why. That's why I did it. Yeah. But I was definitely teetering. I was like, do I want to be super vulnerable or be, PG or like rated R? I'm gonna go for rated R. Julie would say rated R.
No comment. No. But what I noticed in that part of the challenge, I think there is like the audience. When you think about sort of the purpose behind why you're writing it, you're not necessarily thinking about the people that are personal in your life. In my case, my children and, family and so forth. And so, yeah, knowing that the book lives forever and these words will live on paper forever, it does make you think through every single person who might ever read it now and into the future. And it changes it for sure.
Vesna said, that's an amazing insight. Most people don't realize it until it's too late in life. I think it's so cool. It's like it's the law of attraction, right? You will now attract a certain type of people, Cindy. And the same, you also said exactly the same. It's a mindset thing. Can I share something? I was vulnerable. I'm going to be super vulnerable now. So obviously I read the book. I don't know how many times, but I had to read it end to end at least 3 times just because of the process. And then on top of that, I obviously read each section like multiple times as we were editing and fixing. And then I did the audiobook and I listened through all of it in the weekend. And I became like seriously nervous. It was a weird feeling. And and I can't explain it. And Julie, I know you're super hyped up about this, the audiobook, but I really started listening, and your chapter is, by the way, done, so I can send it to you now.
Wow.
On the audiobook. But I listened to it, and my brain just goes, like, the reality hit in a weird way, and hearing your own voice and hearing some of the authors. Like, it's not done fully edited. We're still on chapter 4 or 5 or something. But when you, you'll remember this. When you listen to it, all the emotions that went into putting the story in there
Mm-hmm.
boils up again.
Hmm.
And Vesta and I, we were sitting, and I know she's on here, but she and I was sitting and listening to the chapter when we were going through what we were going through with Noel,
Yeah.
and it just hit us like a ton of bricks. Like, it becomes reality when you hear it in your own voice.
Yeah. Hearing yourself tell you your story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm like, shit, I'm putting this out there. And then I'm like, yeah, fuck, I am. Sorry, I swore. But it's like, yeah, of course I am. It's not a podcast, I can swear. But it's like, do you understand what I mean? I'm doing this. And anyway, it is such a weird, not only is it the therapeutical of writing it, and then you
Yeah.
read it, and then you hear it. And then
Mhm.
when I hear your guys' stories weaved into the book, I'm like, yeah, powerhouses. Like, this is freaking amazing, because my style of talking is much more monotone and slow, and English as second language and all of that. And when you guys come in, it's like, boom, wake up call, like energy booster big time from everyone. Probably because you had a little less to read, so the
For
energy
sure.
level could sustain. But it's like, yeah, just
How
wait
does it
for it.
flow from? I was curious, like how it would flow from reading style between chapter and chapter.
It is hard. I couldn't match. So what I was trying to do, because in the end, because of, like, I was trying to narrate it, and you done your pieces, but tried to do 250 pages, and I gave up. So I AI'd my voice, and it's really good, like really, really good. Yeah, I played it for you, Cindy, right? No, you,
Mhm.
Julie.
Yeah, you did.
And it is good. You can still hear it's not me, but when I listen to it, it feels like me. But what I try to do, Julie, I try to modify a little bit of the speed of the transitions in how quickly you read something, or the level of passion when reading it, and so on. And I
Yeah.
try to modify that, but it's hard. It's really hard to make it sound
I can only
uniform.
imagine with it being as long as yours was, because just for even my short chapter, you start to especially if you read it without pausing, you get into this mode and you almost forget that, you go into like monotone mode almost. And then you're like, oh, I forgot to like read it from my own inner self. So yeah, I mean, it is why, by the way, there are professionals who do this and they do voiceovers. It's
Like,
not an easy thing.
isn't it your sister, or what was it?
Yeah, my sister was a voiceover professional for a number of years, and she's just. But I remember her just spending hours doing it, because even them, they have to redo it. But it's a very interesting business, and she always had this really great voice. And even at the companies that she worked at, they would have her do the answering service, which is really funny. And she has kind of like this really sultry, sexy voice too. So she would always get offers for, romantic books. It's like, no.
Wait,
Really romantic.
did you get any tips and tricks from her then, Julie, before you
I
recorded
didn't
yours?
need tips and tricks for that kind of voice, Cindy.
Oh.
I knew this was going to happen. We completely off topic on everything, and I love it. But for someone who just joined, what is this book about?
Julie?
This is the book about power without permission, by the way. I'm just building off the last topic. Basically, it's a book about really how to own your own space, understand what you're going for in life, and don't wait for someone to open the door for you, but to realize that I think it's really, the more I think about it, it's a mindset more than anything, about shifting in life from sort of being on the receiving end of waiting for someone to say, would you like this opportunity or consider this, to instead say, this is really what I want and I'm going for it. And if you're not going for it, but you want it, you really have got to pause in that space and think about what's holding you back, right? That's what it's about for me.
Cindy, same question.
I'm going to summarize Julie's. It's building your own damn chair at the table.
Yeah.
It is. And so your guys' stories are exactly like you summarized it. And then we pair it with a bunch of leadership lessons, mindset lessons, how to basically take control of your own narrative in a corporate world, in your own company, building a culture, whatever you're doing. I had can I again, this is all over. So anyone listening, this is all over the place. So I'm just gonna go with it. So and now I'm going to be a little super weird conversation. Cindy, you get to summarize it. Someone said to me, most leadership books are written by men for men. And then someone told me it's the same in pharma. So all drugs are usually tested on men first because they used military back in the day and so on. And they were testing new drugs. So they were actually optimized for men before they were optimized for women back in the day. And it still is it's better these days, but that's what it used to be. And then this person also said, we see the same thing happening with AI. I'm like, interesting. Tell me more. And by the way, I can say who it is. It was Martha. So Martha, who is also helping with co-author, helping with launch. And she said, when AI, it was developed by men, and the way it's done, mostly men, and the way it was done originally, or now on the GPT and the large language models, it is the narrative, the style of how men communicate. Plus, it takes away all the emotional part. And then what ended up, who was early adopters? Men. So then what ended up happening, the AI was learning based on the interaction from the tech or early adopter people. And now it became even more stereotyped. So she had gone to a seminar that was hosted by Google, and they were like all for women, and they were strongly encouraging women to really try to adopt AI quicker than currently it was. And again, I don't know the stats of this. I haven't done the research, but it just made me realize, like, no shit, this book is needed.
Yeah.
And no shit, like, we're stuck in this loop where there are amazing, brilliant, badass, incredible women out there. But for some reason, just because of history, we keep putting it in this weird cycle. And I think AI is going to be the biggest revolution that has come in our lifetimes. And what if we're now missing? What if we are redoing it the same way again?
It's a good point, but you know as well as I do that women can talk a whole lot more and ask a whole lot more questions. So once they adopt using AI, we might just run right past it.
I hope so.
But the interesting thing is, like, when you look at the types of people or sectors that are adopting AI, it really is like tech is at the top. And we know that tech is predominantly dominated by males. Like Julie and I lived that, or lived. I lived it. Thank you. Yeah. Lived it.
You're still living.
I like post 10.
But yeah, it's predominantly men, and so it totally makes sense given the current adoption of AI. Yeah. But we need to change that, and we need to change that fast.
And so, Cindy, Jeff was here on Saturday or Sunday and picked up a book. And he was telling me all the other things he was working on. And I said, okay, Jeff, if you really, because we were talking about how, anyway, I can't go into some of the discussions we were having for other reasons.
Tell us more. No, just kidding.
But long story short, he is also very pro helping women and want to see more equalness. Yeah. We basically agree on this topic very much. Male ally, that's another way of saying it. And so I asked him, make an AI course then, put it in the Power Without Permission community and make it free for everyone who joins it. And now we're at least catalysting it. So he actually signed up for that.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And if anyone was to create it, it's either you or Jeff. So yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, but and it's not like this is how we use ChatGPT, but make people aware of why this matters and make it aware how to use it. And then, like, because what you don't want happen is that, again, with the whole women feels they have to know 100% before they pick it up.
Yeah.
And do it when they know 30, 40, 50%. So if that's the case, I mean, let's create that feeling of I know it early on, and let's just use it. And we'll probably put that out everywhere, like not only in the community. And I haven't done the research again on these topics, but it just scared me. Like, we don't want to repeat the pattern. And if this is the largest generational shift that is going to happen, I mean, so important.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that before, but it is kind of scary.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I was listening. Sorry, yeah, we lost the whole, like, this live became about something else. But I was at a meetup with only C levels. Basically, it was 70, 80 people there. There was roundtable discussion, and there was a long conversation about if AI is divergent or convergent, meaning will it reshape the landscape where you can have someone that has historically less IQ, that now have the ability to act as a higher grade person. And one of the companies there, they said, we stopped hiring the A players. It's way cheaper for us to hire C players and train them on AI, and they produce about the same results.
What do you think about that? Because
it was like,
yeah.
Cindy was like, oh shit moment there.
Yeah, I'm like, how do they get, now I'm really curious as to what the process is for training, but like, how do they get A player results by hiring C players? And what's that,
no, but they paid them They pay them 30% less, and then you need fewer. So the ratio between an A player and a C player can shift dramatically. Where you needed more A players in the past and then B and C, now you need less. And there was also a discussion that Jeff and I actually continued when he was here, and I just have to share it. I don't know why I'm nerding out on this topic today. We're not supposed to talk about this. But anyway, and that was... what we're going to have left in the companies is like top level managers that are leadership, culture, the high level things. And then you're going to have sort of that entry level, especially in tech companies, entry level leaders or entry level developers, because with the code and everything you can do in AI and the tools, like, you're not going to need the middle layer anymore.
I just don't think that the only difference between an A player and a C player is just knowledge. I never viewed it that way. Do you?
No, but you can still have culture fit of a C player. You can still have get it, want it capacity to do it. But the capacity to do it, when historically that was a question mark, now becomes capacity to do it with the right tools. Anyway, sorry, complete tangent. We can change topic. It was just on my mind.
All right, well, what else are we going to talk about?
Have either of you logged into the amazing community we built and the free courses?
I pulled up the link, but I haven't spent a bunch of time digging around. You just sent that out.
Yeah, I know. So I was going to launch it at the time on the 25th, and I'm like, screw it. I'll just put it out there now. So it's already live. Anyone can join. It's free, and the courses are on there, even if you have not bought the book. I even removed you have to buy the book if you want all free courses, but I made some courses that I think are so important for free. Anyway, so
paint the vision then, 6 months from now, if your goal was really reached, right? What does the community look like? What's happening?
We have 1,000 people in the community. There are several, I don't know how to translate to English, but like fire souls, or people are really driving it. And we have mentor matching, which has come up when I wrote this book, has been one of the main requests from people. How can I find a mentor? Male or female, but often from women asking, how do I actually find mentors? So I want to build a mentor match there. I would love to see all the co-authors in at least once a month giving a presentation about what they have learned from the book, and so sort of elevate it, what happened after the book and what's the next level. We have developed even more free tools. We have taken all the revenue we got from the book, reinvested it to developing more and more free materials. I think the story, I don't know if you said that on a live, Julie. I don't think so. I think you were talking about like your daughter when she joined Starbucks. That one stuck with me on that type of people. It's filled of first-time leaders, women, and we are a supportive community that helps with leadership, with mentoring, emotionally, whatever they're going through, and it's for free. And the 6 months goal is, if we can have, to use Jeff's word, minted, if we have minted 1,000 amazing women leaders, and we all ask them to mint more women
Yeah.
leaders, I think a change can happen. Like that is the dream scenario. The long-term dream scenario is, I want to help 10,000 entrepreneurs, primarily women, but I want to help 10,000 entrepreneurs. But I do think it has to start with, the book works for both if you're an entrepreneur or W2, but it has to start with the W2 world. And then the day I retire, I'm on my deathbed, US isn't ranked 50 in the world anymore for equalness between men and women. And we don't have, some groups are like 5% of the top layer of companies, and some groups are 20% or 30%, depending on diversity within women. I want to see closer to 50-50, and on board seats as well. That's if that has changed by the time I die, I think I've done a good life mission. I would have done my mother proud she won't be around to see it, but that's how far I want to push this. Like, I want to do this. And yeah.
I love that.
Tell your story about your daughter, if that's okay.
Yeah, well, and first of all, let me just comment on that, because one of the reasons that made me think about my daughter in this scenario is, through her story, I was reminded about how many firsts there were. And in her space, she did have a lot of resources that others would not have had. And because she had me working alongside her and supporting her, she really excelled quickly. She's got a ton of natural talent in all those things, but still, and this goes back to sort of, you asked about the book and what it's about. A large portion of this book is about mentorship and seeing the value in that. It doesn't matter how much of an expert you are or how naturally good at or something. You can always learn more, and you can learn more quickly from other people, because other people see you differently, right? And it's sometimes small tweaks and sometimes it's big tweaks, but that is 100% what changes an individual's potential from being here to here in a matter of time. So I saw that with my daughter, Sarah, and she was so eager to learn more and got so excited in the successes that she found. And it wasn't just her realizing she was accomplishing her goals. It was the feedback that she got from other people and how blown away they were by her in that process, that she really stood out, right, amongst all the different individuals that were up against, looking for this, going for the same role. I gave you the example of the recruiter was just blown away. She got, 3 interviews for this management role, her first management role. And she got offers from all 3. And not only that, they made an exception to pay for her to relocate for her top choice, which was not allowed at that rank, right? But she really slayed it in that way. And she, would not have done that had she not had mentorship along the way. And it wasn't just for me. But that's what made me think about saying we need to target, sort of this age group and going in, because what a value and an advantage for her to have that early on versus waiting until she was stuck at this level at middle management and, not wasting, but, spending 20 years waiting for someone to give them permission and opening the door. Let's get them going early on. And the other thing is, I think that in particular with the day and age today, that the younger women are more bullish, and they have more an awareness that they can do this and they do deserve this spot, right? And so they're thirsty for that in ways that maybe necessarily I wasn't, or assuming that I could have that at their age. So I think it's the right time and place with the right audience for that.
I'm going to just add one thing to what you said. That's why we should offer the leadership training and everything to more people, and the mindset and everything else, before they even interview.
Yeah, totally.
It should be part of like plain leadership lessons should absolutely be available and accessible for everyone early on. And also how to handle, because we talked a little bit about your daughter. I hope it's okay to share this, but it's like, even the most strong person, the most natural, will still have doubts, will still be frustrated and not understand how to manage a situation.
Oh, there's a ton of it. And the other thing that I noticed going through it is it's not just preparing someone for an interview. I think the way that traditionally we would, like, what kinds of questions might you be up against, right? It isn't that. It's going into it with mentality as a reminder that you're interviewing them. You know, you are going in there to seek out information to understand, is this really a job that you want? You know, you think you maybe do, but you don't know enough yet. So you sort of, you know, you turn the table around a little bit and you become the interviewer. And that gives you a different mindset and more confidence, because you're not going into it like, I'm desperate for this thing. I'm either going to get a yes or no. It isn't that. You're going in it to understand, do I even want a yes? Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of lessons.
Yeah, it really needs to be a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other part to what you said, Julie, about mentorship is the reason why Sarah excelled is because she has that curiosity mindset. She's hungry for growth. She's receptive to feedback. So it's all of those like personality traits that also makes her well positioned to be paired up with a mentor or a sponsor who's really pushing her to that next level.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to want the feedback, and you know, you have to want the win. And that's the other thing. Like, I mean, that's why I said early on, you got to be clear about what you want. And sometimes, you know, people think they want something, but they don't really understand why they want it and what it's going to deliver. And that's part of the reflection piece that's so important, because you can say you want something because you think it's a good thing, but then you can have reflected on it and really have the background story to why it makes sense for you, what it's going to deliver for you. And that level of want's different now. So when you go in and you go to get it, you get it at a different level than you would have if you just thought, yeah, everybody else wants this, I'm going to check the box, right? So you got to really do a lot of reflection around what it is you're going for.
It's almost like your chapter was about self-awareness.
A little bit of it was.
By the way, nice share, Cindy. This is like the parting gift from our company.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Hercules.
Wow. That's an internal joke, Julie.
I'm following. I'm just disappointed I don't have the chair.
You don't have the chair?
I don't have the chair.
It was when we sold the company or sold the office, the equipment. They only wanted a certain amount of shares. I forgot, and there were like 20 shares left.
That's
and we're
hilarious.
Like, what are we going to do with them? Oh, we have to throw them away. They don't want it in a space. Like, okay, I'll take one. Nice.
They're nice chairs.
Yeah.
It's a keepsake.
Oh, that's funny. What do you think can be? So, I'll say it like this first. It's going to be really hard. Like just launching a book, I did not know how to do it. We have over 200 now signed up for the online event. We have hundreds for the in-person. That's going to get a little crazy. By the way, eat before the event because I only ordered food for 150.
Classy.
But I have to say, this is a whole new learning experience for me. It's weird when you really, I have mentored people for a long time. I've been coaching them, helping them, like you, even several other people. I know this works. I know it makes a difference, and I have seen it. And what's the frustrating part for me is like, I know the value of this. It's not something I second guess. I know the value of this book. I know the value of the stories. But it's completely up in the hands of the marketing gods and social media and people picking it up, and you just can't do anything about that, which is the frustrating part. So I'm trying really hard, but I will not equate value of this book with the sales or the people joining the community. I'm going to live and accept the fact that it's going to take a while, and it's a passion project, it's abundance, and it just has to happen. But obviously, since I bring it up, it's something I worry about.
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense to worry about that. But I think you're right. I mean, one of the things that's interesting, Andreas, is when I asked you about what success looks like for you in 6 months from now, not once did you talk about the number of books that you sold.
No, it's about the community and helping other people.
Yeah. So that's why you should stay focused on that.
And that's why 100% of the revenue, like I make a few dollars. But it's like per book, 100% of that goes into the community. And Martha have been doing an amazing job. I wish I could show it here even. She have done an amazing job on creating all these courses, and she's helping out quite a lot right now.
I'm super hopeful that people get involved in the community, because I think from that we're going to understand where the most value can be brought, and that'll help direct us in the next steps, right, to reach those goals. So
hopefully it has a network effect. But I think this was a really good, regardless of, the book sales, I think this was a really good learning experience for all of us.
Yeah. I wouldn't have it undone, Cindy. Everyone have said kind of what you have said about truly getting to know one themselves, banking on their experience, seeing the next mountain. They didn't understand they were even climbing a mountain, and now to see the next one. I always use Michelle as an example, which is my coach, and she was also part of running Your She Council that Cindy was part of. And she'd learned, she's late career, and her was like, hyper self-aware, hyper emotional intelligence. And she was like, I learned a lot. Like, she was
because the reason why everybody has been like so repetitive around the wow factor and what I learned is because by and large, this has been a first for everybody, right? We talk a lot about that. I mean, it isn't something you've done before and that and that's why taking the leaps and getting the firsts under your belt are things that level you up. This has been a game changer for everybody involved.
I got an opportunity to guest not a large podcast, but let's say a little bit larger than mine podcast. I'm doing that on Wednesday, so I'm a little nervous about that. But it's going to be very interesting. That person have in between her and the two other involved in that group have close to 2 million followers between them on Instagram. So I'm a little nervous about being on that podcast. I have to admit that.
What about it? Like, why? What does that mean for you that there's more followers?
They're not only followers, they're active, engaging, strongly opinionated. And it's going to be interesting to see how it's perceived. Because I think I told both of you, I'm still getting hate for some people. And I even wrote about it in the book. When I push for women, I get hate from women and from men. Which is, I will not understand that. But that's okay. I don't have to understand that. Like Cindy said, those are not people I want in my life anyway.
And you can't please everybody. So,
Stay
focused, but we believe in you, Andreas, for this podcast that you've got coming up. Don't psych yourself out.
I'm trying not to even say the name because I don't want it to be out there. If I screw it up, I can always say it. Please don't release it. Last things to be said here. I mean, if people listen through the whole thing, we got some people. We actually got several people. But go get the book. If you buy the book, it's $15. You can even buy the $5 version ebook. It's also coming out as an audiobook on Audible, Spotify, other places. Join the community, and you get all these leadership lessons, mindset lessons. Everything is included in the book price. Not charging for it. For transparency, I have also put in some executive courses, but that's like C-level, executive level that I charge for, but that's already part of it. But I want to do as much free. Hopefully in the future, I will have enough people in the community that I can make everything for free. This is cool. Any last thoughts? How was the first live for you, Cindy?
It was good. But I think it's because Julie's on. So
This is extroverted, Cindy. Can I say, okay, so I'm talking all the time. I will say this. Julie, I guarantee you, like, you will see a difference in Cindy. I already noticed it after, like, the first day. Her level of energy in the room was pretty cool.
You're saying since she's just recently made a change?
Yep.
Since I started my reset.
Well, I did already see a change. She messaged or texted me the other day with something, and I was like, oh, God. It's good. She's taking care of herself, and she made she was very aware of what she needed, and she made a decision.
Yes.
It was a fearless decision, and I really respect it.
That means we're going to have a lot of fun next week, Julie.
Of course it is.
Although I don't know how much fun we can have without food, So
Not
that'll
just
be an issue.
what are you talking about?
By the way, logistical thing, sending out this info. You need to be there at 3:30 the latest.
Okay.
And you can write, Cindy, if you want to, if you're going separate from, I don't know if Jason is going separate or how you will manage that, but we can carpool up there as well if you want to.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's going to be fun. Really, it's going to be a really great day. I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure.
There are so many. Log into the event and you can see all the sponsors there now as well.
That's so great.
And I have something that will embarrass you and make you nervous.
Wait, who? Julie or me? Or both of us? Oh,
all of you.
Great.
Now I really want
We're excited.
Listening. I'm just saying it's our anniversary. She's not safe either.
Well,
I was
we're definitely going to show up now.
Cool.
It's actually Alyssa's anniversary as well. But anyway, okay.
Oh, wow. Wedding anniversary? You guys have the same wedding anniversary?
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing.
I didn't know that. Actually, that's funny because I'm flying in. I'm staying at Alyssa's house. And I was like, are you sure you want me to stay there in your anniversary? She's like, oh, yeah, no, totally. I'm like, all right.
You better bring an anniversary present, Julie.
I know. It's a good point. I'll have to think about that. Bring something fantabulous.
I'm not touching that.
All right, we should probably cut this live now.
Let it go. Log out.
I'm ending. I'm ending the stream now. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Doesn't work.
Bye.